Welcome participants of IN442.OL1 International Finance Online. This course is relevant today and in your future because it integrates all of our international business background, builds upon it, and offers opportunities to professionally apply our global communication, critical thinking, analytical, problem-solving, decision-making, and teamwork skills as leaders and managers of multinational fashion and related companies. I am Christine Pomerantz, your instructor and learning facilitator in the senior level ITM major minor elective. I have been an educator for nearly 2 decades, with teaching experience at FIT, New York University, and Pace University through the World Trade Institute, after having been an international banker for 20 years, most recently as Senior Vice President and Head of Structured Trade Services of the Americas for the Australia and New Zealand Banking Group Limited, or ANZ, the world's 52nd largest bank with $682 billion in assets. I started my career at Citibank in the Philippines and New York, then moved to Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation in New York before heading to ANZ. My experience as a leader of my team and in dealing with customers through multinational companies, international financial institutions, and global commodity traders, as well as Master of Business with majors in finance and international business from NYU's Stern Business School, have prepared me to stimulate your professional development in this field. After clicking on our course in Blackboard, you will find tabs on the left side of the screen starting with announcements. Be sure to update yourselves on any new announcements every time you access our course. In addition, I urge yourselves to utilize free online consultation with the Writing and Speaking Studio for English writing and speaking support. See this resource before writing and/or speaking to strategize our approach, then after writing and/or speaking to tweak our essays and projects. The next tab links us to the course syllabus, which contains our contact details, the course description, our learning objectives and outcomes, the required and suggested readings, grading criteria, an overview of the group term project, the course schedule, the course learning activities, my expectations, as well as institutional and course policies. Take a moment to read and review each section carefully to ensure we pace ourselves amply for the challenges ahead. This course will train students to use the basic principles and techniques of international financial management of fashion and related companies. Students will learn about the management of country and currency exchange rate risks, the international payment and finance tools used in the export and import of textiles, apparel, and other fashion products, international cash management, international capital budgets and structure, and international mergers and acquisitions. In particular, by the end of this course, students will be able to explain how and why internationally oriented firms manage their international finance strategies so as to improve cash flow and enhance shareholder wealth through participation in class discussions on readings, text, and case studies focusing on companies in the fashion and related industries. Identify exchange rate and country risks, as well as make use of currency derivatives and basic hedging techniques to minimize such risks and translation and economic exposures as demonstrated by class quizzes and examinations. Distinguish the different range of trade payment options and short-term trade finance, including the usage of letters of credit, bank drafts, the bills of exchange, documentary collections, etc., as measured by term projects. Accordingly, students will learn how to fill out a letter of credit application form and examine key documents involved in letter of credit practice, with particular attention to the bill of lading, commercial invoice, draft, and certificate of origin. Differentiate international cash management techniques through in-class exercises and an exam. Analyze cases involving international fashion and apparel companies and make decisions relating to a firm's evaluation of alternatives for foreign investment, with special attention to issues underlying foreign acquisitions and the impact of country risk on short-term and long-term foreign investment, as demonstrated by case studies in class and group discussions. Readings include the required textbook, which is International Financial Management, 13th edition, written by Jeff Madura and published in 2018 by Southwestern Cengage Learning Center at Mason, Ohio, ISBN 13-978-1-337-26-996-4. The ebook or reprint options are more cost-effective than the hardcover version. Participants can also use the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th edition, some of which may be in the FIT library. Other requirements are the Fashion Faux Pas, Gucci and LVMH case study, and a calculator. The suggested periodicals available at the FIT digital library and/or the internet are the New York Times, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg Businessweek, Women's Wear Daily, The Economist, Fortune, Forbes, and Sourcing Journal. You can also send me private messages by emailing me directly through Blackboard. Likewise, I will be sending my private messages to you via email, so do check your FIT email regularly. I will be opening each learning unit on the first day it is assigned. See the course schedule in this section of the course for details. Learning units that we have finished remain open for you to see, but not for work to be submitted. Let us pace ourselves. Since we will need to learn the basics before we can proceed to the more complicated material, follow the materials chronologically and allow for enough time to proceed to the higher level course material. Also, I have color-coded some of the material within the learning units for ease of reference as follows: blue for questions, red for scanned diagrams or documents or links or internal sections, green for examples, and hot pink for noteworthy items. In business, time management is of the essence. Thus, after a learning unit, exam, assignment, or project has closed, late work will not be accepted. For each learning unit, you will be expected to read the mini lectures in the learning unit. If the mini lecture conflicts with the textbook, the mini lecture prevails. If we are pressed for time, we do not need to read the news articles. Nevertheless, they would help us grasp the concepts more clearly. Read the assigned textbook pages for the case studies or exercises sourced from the textbook and websites during different times instead of all the pages for the learning unit in 1 or 2 sittings so that we can assimilate the lesson. Apart from the case studies or exercises sourced from the textbook, I suggest that reading the textbook is necessary only as a means to understand the material in the mini lectures that may remain unclear. Participate in the discussion area at least 3 times a week. This is the most important part of our course because studies have shown that we remember 100% of what we say and possibly only 5% of what others say. There is our 1 or 2 topics in a general discussion area, plus in the case of our term project, several group discussions to be held in the group discussion board for each mini lecture. They will open on different dates, giving us some time to do our work. Check the discussions regularly and read the posts of other students in the class. Respond to at least 2 other posts from other students in each discussion area. When you do, be sure to attach a new article or photo to elevate the discussions supporting your view, summarize its content, evaluate the quality of the source, and cite the source in APA format. Waiting until the end may preclude you from experiencing this enriching activity. Perform the class discussions before the group projects to ensure that we are able to raise the level of our input for the project, as the class discussions will serve to hone our understanding of the course materials before they are applied to the projects. There are 2 deadlines. The first response deadline, in which we must post our initial thoughts on the discussion, and the final response deadline, in which we will post our final response to questions that may have been raised by the professor and/or our classmates. Also, when in doubt about the deadlines, always refer to the What's Due When page at the top of the learning unit documents. Relax and enjoy the course. Be as candid as you can. While the course is reputed to be challenging, I have received enthusiastic feedback that the skills learned are so unique that they have helped to differentiate the participants from those who have not taken the course. I have also heard that students use some of the skills almost immediately outside the classroom. In fact, among them is a consultant who used our project format to enhance her business presentations. I look forward to our candid, timely, and thorough participation. So let's enjoy this ride. While doing so, I will expect the following contribution from ourselves: active, timely, thorough, and scholarly class participation at least 3 times a week, student-driven discussions, collaborative and prompt group exercises and projects, suitable access of internal and external information suggested, honesty and integrity in discussions, exercises, projects, as well as exams, and appropriate feedback on comprehension of material, course strengths, and necessary improvements at the end of each learning unit, as well as action being taken by the participant to improve his or her performance. For details, as well as information on the institutional and course policies, see the syllabus.